It's Sunday night, June the 30th, and Monday night, July the 1st. And you know what that means. Ringside Heat is on the air on News Talk Sauga 960 AM. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Lex Tan, the host and producer of Ringside Heat on your radio and all your streaming platforms as well as YouTube. So you can follow Ringside Heat at Ringside_Heat. Follow me at Lex Tan Media. I'm joined right now by two of the members of our ring crew here who've been with us since the day one. Day one-ish, I guess you could say that. Jose Taboada at Taboada93, our director of digital content, and our AEW expert at Risen72, Colin Dodge, the responsible one. Good evening, good whatever day it is right now, gentlemen.
You're just like trying to find words. I don't know where they're coming from. You're like, God, what do I say? And then just build it all up. Hi, friends. I'm doing great. That was hilarious to watch, to listen to Lex try to figure out how to cue us up. But all's well. All's well. I mean, we got a fun. We had a great couple of weeks of wrestling that I know we didn't get a chance to talk. First of all, I mean, I think it was warranted when you have the opportunity to talk to Vince Russo. So Lex, John, who's not here, great job, gentlemen. That was fantastic. That was fun to edit and look through.
Amazing interview. Yeah.
And we have a lot to catch up on for sure. And of course, this upcoming week, the wrestling world focuses on us, which is great. Toronto. So we have a lot to look back at and a lot to look forward to. So what a time, at least in the WWE world. And of course, at the time of this airing, Colin will be setting up for at least on Sauga 960 AM. We'll be getting ready to have another live stream with his AEW reaction. So Colin, I know, excited for that. Forbidden Door, yeah. So Colin, I know you're excited for that. Great reel, by the way. Good stuff, Colin.
Oh, thank you. I look like a deer trapped in the headlight, but hey, I'll get better.
It was the thought that counts. And
you said, look at the camera, and so I froze. They said, look at the camera. Don't look away from the camera and talk fast. It has to be under a minute or I'll kill you.
Rule number 1 of content creation engagement, folks. We're talking to you guys.
That's right.
Yeah. That's a young person trying to teach a middle-aged person how to do things on the internet.
I am the youngest of the crew. Yes, I am the youngest of the crew at the old age of 30.
Yeah. Now you get it, folks.
There you go. That's Jose. That's Colin. And before we get into our discussion over here, first of all, we just want to congratulate Buddy Matthews, a.k.a. Matthew Adams, and Rhea Ripley, a.k.a. Demi Adams, on their nuptials. They announced that they got married earlier this week. And so congratulations to them. Mommy is married to her papi in real life. And and Dominic is married as well too. So that's something that we're going to have to talk about a little bit later when it comes to WWE programming. But congratulations to them nonetheless. It is happy time for those two, and particularly the fans of Rhea Ripley and Buddy Matthews as well. At the same time, we also would like to acknowledge and send our condolences to the Anoa'i family for the loss of one of the patriarchs, the living patriarchs right now of the Anoa'i family, Liati Sika Amituana'i Anoa'i, better known as Sika of the Wild Samoans. He passed away this week, June the 25th, at the age of 79. He is obviously was a member of the famed Anoa'i family and the father of professional wrestlers Rosie and Roman Reigns, the tribal chief. And I believe maybe the last time we did see Sika on WWE TV was when they actually acknowledged Roman Reigns as the tribal chief.
So.
Yeah,
I think that was the last time. Yeah.
Yeah, and five children, and of course, just an amazing career as a WWE wrestler, and also just been able to be a part of this amazing family that has given so much to the wrestling fans, and been able to provide for his family, and as well proliferate and even grow the family business in that sort of way as well. So may eternal rest grant onto Sika, and let perpetual light shine upon him. May he rest in peace, and may his memory be eternal. So, that being said, so we want to talk about WWE today. We want to talk about AEW today, especially because Money in the Bank's coming to town. And of course, Sunday, Colin, as Jose mentioned, is going to be doing the live stream for the live stream reaction of AEW Forbidden Door. We've had some great interactions with the last one that we did for WWE Clash at the Castle. And thank you to all of our regulars who've been chiming in. Beth Rosenthal and Jose, your friends as well too that are joining the stream as well. I hope to see you all again. Hope we can hope we can all have some fun watching AEW Forbidden Door. But we're gonna come back and reset, and we are gonna have Jose and Colin and myself discuss about WWE first of all, because we do have Money in the Bank coming up, and a couple of interesting little things that are going to be happening with the Ring Crew as well on that day. We'll be back after these promotional considerations.
Hey everybody, Jose of the Ring Crew wishing each and every one of you a happy Canada Day. Enjoy the day, my friends. Now back to the show.
And welcome back to Ringside Heat on Newstalk Sauga 960 AM, your favorite podcatcher, and right here on YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Lex Tan, host and producer. At Lex Tan Media is where you can follow me. At Ringside_Heat is where you can follow the show. Obviously, as well, you can follow and follow us on all social media. Plus, I believe we have some banners over here that I'm going to put up. That's right. Follow us on all the social media. Buy us a coffee, ko-fi.com/Ringside Heat. We're on the air in Sauga 960 at 7 p.m. on Sundays, on Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. as well, or anytime on the internet. With Jose at Taboada 93 and Colin at Risen 72. Let's start off with these last couple of weeks of WWE programming. It's been a wild ride, and since Clash of the Castle, and also leading up to Money in the Bank, I think we have some really, really great programming over the past couple of weeks, which includes what happened last Friday with the Bloodline on SmackDown and Paul Heyman, if you haven't seen that yet, but also the Wyatt Sicks. And I want to start off with that. Jose, I know you've been itching to talk about the Wyatt Sicks, so let's get the discussion started with the Wyatt Sicks.
Yeah, look, I mean, yes, Money in the Bank is coming. It's exciting. I'm still hoping to be there. I still need to get a ticket. But oh my god, I don't even want to talk about Money in the Bank, to be honest with you, with the debut of the Wyatt Sicks. It's an overdue conversation for us here. I don't even know why we didn't even get the opportunity to just record an episode for YouTube, but here we are now talking about it on the radio. Unbelievable! What a debut! It's Colin. If it's one opportunity, I think I say kind of like break your rule and tune into the debut if you're able to. At least that, because spectacular debut. The build-up, of course, was incredible, was creepy, was horrifying. Just the anticipation and the moments that it all went through was amazing. And you feel for everybody involved, especially Taylor, Bo Dallas, who I don't even know if he's going to be referred to as Bo Dallas, and I'll get to that in a little bit. I'm sure there's a lot going on in his mind in honoring his brother this way, and I know they're going to do a phenomenal job with that. With just the debut set the tone for what this group is going to be like down the road, and phenomenal. Of course, thank goodness that Chad Gable was okay from his death. Thank God that he survived his murder.
To the head, basically.
He survived his murder. Thank goodness. All is
I
well.
believe Vince Russo called it, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right.
So thank goodness he recovered from his death, but it was just done. It's just done so well. That whole debut. So congrats to them. I did find it funny that there was a fan that caught the five of them at a Whataburger.
That's right.
So I just love that. Like, there's just like so many captions that said, "Hey, after a murdering spree, yeah, go get a burger." Good call. The one thing I will say though, and obviously, eventually you got to shift your direction to okay, what's this going to be? And I don't know if you saw Lex, Colin Colin. I highly suggest that at least with this, I would focus on a lot, Colin, because I think it's up your alley. Because I know you're a horror guy, and I know you're a Bray Wyatt fan as well. I know we had a great time. Well, I don't want to say about great time. We had a good episode many months ago, honoring Bray, and again, this is up your alley. I think
discussion.
Yeah. The conversation between Uncle Howdy and Bo Dallas, that was not Bo Dallas. That was Taylor.
Oh yeah.
And of course, like you always wonder, okay, how do we humanize this, right? No, actually, not even humanize. Sorry, before I jumped ahead there. What's our approach to this, right? How do you want to present the Wyatt Sicks? Are we going supernatural like you did with the Fiend? Are we going supernatural like the Undertaker? Are we going flat out horror, murder, scene? No, whatever it is. The humanizing caught me off guard, and I was with David Morisuti, a friend of the show. He was at my place. We were watching, and both of our jaws dropped when Taylor brought up his brother, when he brought up Bray, and it's not an angle that I anticipated that they go with, because again, like you're starting to blur the lines of like, do you bring up a real life situation? Do you bring up the death? Kind of like Eddie, a little bit like Eddie in a sense when Rey Mysterio used that angle. But the emotion that Taylor presented, and the way that even like, communicating with Uncle Howdy about it, almost like a therapy session, to me, I'm telling myself, oh my goodness, this is going to be one incredible journey that I didn't think I needed this. I didn't think I wanted to present it like that, to be presented the way that it was. And so game on. I'm excited for it. I'm not even a horror guy, but I'm engulfed in it. Yeah. It's just, I cannot believe that they went that route with the Uncle Howdy interview with Bray, and I know that Bray would have been okay with that. I think Bray would have been excited to see him being used in this manner. So I'm excited, but I feel for Taylor, who I know that you saw it in his face, you saw it in his emotion, how hard it is for him, and the fact that they're gonna use it. I guess I have to say use. The fact they're gonna go along with it and use it into their storylines there.
I would say continue it. Just continue it. Yeah.
If anything, what I want to see next is, because I didn't expect, because like, they had like Bo Dallas. This is like Bo Dallas Taylor's first full regular self on camera since Bo Dallas days, right? Since the right?
Yeah.
So what I would hope that they do, and again, this is not my idea. This is an idea from one of my group chats. Interview all of them. Go through it, all of them. Eric Rowan, Nikki Cross, Joe Gacy, right? What's the last name? What's the last guy? Oh, I'm so sorry. The dude that married the girl in NXT. Oh, what's his name?
Dexter or something?
Yes, Dexter Loomis.
That's it. Yes. Dexter Loomis. That's his name.
That's bad, Jose. I knew that.
And my man doesn't. And my man doesn't watch WWE. So I think if they interview all of them throughout the next few weeks, and then we get more in depth as to why the Wyatt Sicks are the way that they are, great. I've been talking on a lot, but I'm so happy where this is going. That's why I'm like rambling on. I'm very passionate about this. Colin, from the outside looking in, what are your thoughts on this? Because this is a massive storyline that they're finally going ahead with. What are your thoughts hearing all of that and the direction that they're going to go in?
Well, knowing that it's happening, I have absolutely no trepidation about, should they mention Bray, or that they're continuing with this, or all this kind of thing. Because obviously, Taylor's there. So if Taylor's fine with it, everybody's fine with it. You know what I mean? Like, I remember back to, of course, Taker and CM Punk at Mania, where Punk was distributing the ashes all over the place, right? And everybody's like, okay, obviously they weren't his real ashes or anything like that. So
regardless, I remember that. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah. But many times, Taker, Mark, whoever he is now, has gone on record going like, there was no problem with that. That was not anything he had an issue with that whole story or anything like that. And he knows that Percy would not have a problem with that to still be involved in a major
some shape or
angle
form.
is like the performer and promoter in him that like absolutely fine with that. So this is the same kind of thing. You say that like he mentioned Bray. I don't think there's a way you can do this without doing it, because it really is like Uncle Howdy was being introduced before his passing, right? So
he was involved. I don't know why I'm
like there was appearances and flashes.
Yeah.
I don't it wasn't actually, there wasn't a match or an appearance, like a in person appearance kind of thing.
Yeah,
but
it was
like,
being teased basically.
it was being presented.
there was in person teases. There was in person appearances, wasn't it? But not in a full extent. I thought there was.
Right.
Well, there probably would have been had not Bray. Unfortunately,
No. Even before the passing, like I think, like even like when Bray, like, well, I know that the Uncle Howdy's were there, but I feel like at one point you saw Uncle Howdy in the ring, not like wrestling in the ring, but like in a segment or something in the ring. I'm pretty sure.
I'm sure. No, there was something. I'm just saying that like they probably would have been. It would have been more developed.
Oh,
it would have been more developed.
Of course.
Like
naturally,
happened.
Yeah, everybody was waiting for it, but then of course we lost Bray, so. But yeah.
So yeah, like the point being, like I really see this as a continuation of, obviously it can't be what it would have been, but we're still moving forward, and I think especially with Taylor there and everybody else, this is being, Triple H at the helm, this is being handled properly. So I have complete confidence in whatever is happening. All the right people are giving it the green light. So I have no worries there for any of that. So like, I'm glad it's moving forward. I'm glad, through Taylor, Bray's family and all that kind of stuff, they can still earn for themselves and that kind of thing. That was one of the greatest things I loved. Like, I'll always respect and love Vicky Guerrero because she was still able to stay around and be a provider. And I the greatest manager you love to hate. I put Vicky Guerrero right in that conversation.
Yeah.
I mean, she is fantastic. She's not, I can't remember the last time she was on TV in AEW, but still is fantastic. So, so that kind of thing. Yeah. Complete confidence and, everybody's participation in it. And it's great. The kind of horror, yes, you're right. That is definitely right up my alley. It's not purely visuals that I like, but the psychological end.
Yeah, this is going to be psychological.
Like Taylor interviewing himself, essentially. Yeah, basically, that kind of thing is right up my alley. And I love the idea where they all do that. Maybe Nikki should interview Sister Abigail. Maybe, you know what I mean? Like, continue that.
Right. Or like,
and Nikki
like,
is Sister Abigail, or Nikki plays Sister Abigail. That'd be great.
Yeah.
I
sorry, I just thought of it right now. Quick fantasy booking. Alexa Bliss returns to claim her former role.
That's
of Sister Abigail. Or she's Lily.
Then thank you for interrupting me, because that's exactly where I was going to go. Because
there you go.
Because everybody's talking about the Wyatt Sicks, right? Or six. I don't know how you want to say it. It's SICKS, but it could be played as the number 6.
Play on the word. Yeah.
You're missing one. You're technically missing one. You have 5. So
people are assuming that's Bray.
Yeah,
but
that's the thing. It was also
that was
his Twitter handle and his Instagram handle like had actually like Wyatt Sicks at one point before he passed away. Yeah.
So I presume that it is Bray in spirit, but I would not be opposed, and I'm kind of hoping for it in a sense as well. If number one, if Alexa's clear and okay to come back, because obviously,
of course, and she wants to come back and all that.
Being a mother first will always take priority. No doubt about it. That's number 1. Number 2, if like that's where she goes back to, because I'm kind of done with the old peppy. Okay, Alexa Bliss was spectacular. It was a lot of fun.
Like, I mean, it was more almost like a current day Harley Quinn kind of thing more than anything else. When she left, right?
Oh yeah,
basically. But I would but she did a really good job being partnered up with Bray in the whole Firefly Funhouse thing. Yeah. So. If there's a way for her to come back, even what was the doll's name? The creepy little doll, Lily. If
she could come back with Lily too,
as Lily, then fantastic, right? So, I'm hoping that if she does come back, maybe I want to say when too. That's her role. That's her role to figure out that's something with the Wyatt Sicks, and I think she's a missing piece at the end of the day, because she played such a huge part in Bray's career anyway. And helping
the development of it. Yeah.
Yeah, helping reinvent Bray's wheel in a sense. So that's what I hope for. If she doesn't go back and goes back to like, you know, her traditional heel, maybe Harley Quinn style, okay. But I think you have to have a spot for in the Wyatt Sicks. You have to.
And that said, I've been a big fan of Nikki Cross as well. Yeah. So I have complete confidence in the role that she's taking on now too. So it's not that I would want Alexis back to replace Nikki in any way.
No.
I love that. Like, Nikki's been given this opportunity. I believe she will completely run with it and kill it.
And that is the role for her. I mean, you forget the NXT faction, Insanity.
Insanity,
right? And I mean, that's how she was introduced.
Full tilt, insane Nikki is my favorite Nikki.
And this is the Nikki that she can bring back and really get going in a sense, because this is what worked for Nikki. And now look at the position you have her in. I think she's back in a comfortable role that'll make her feel super.
Mute his mic right now.
Ringside Heat on
Newstalk. Do it.
Ringside Heat on Newstalk Sauga 960 AM. We have a few minutes left in this segment over here, but we're going to talk about a little bit about Money in the Bank that's coming up. We are also going to be talking about what happened on Friday Night SmackDown just on June the 28th, particularly the ending of Friday Night SmackDown first, because nice speculation here that we were talking about before we went on the air over here between me and Jose and Collins. But so the end of SmackDown was the acknowledgement ceremony hosted by Solo Sikoa, in which he brought out he brought out the Tongans, the Sons of Haku, and as well brought out Jacob Fatu, who was not supposed to be there according to Solo, but of course Solo lied to the wise man, and so he got the Sons of Haku to acknowledge him as tribal chief. He got Jacob Fatu to acknowledge him as tribal chief. But when it came to the wise man Paul Heyman, he could not do it. You can see, and as well, the stress on his face. He let his beard start to grow and show a little bit, and so he had some gray stubble, salt and pepper going on a little, and he had the red lay in his hands, as Chico's cousin Arby calls it, the red peppers, and exactly, and he couldn't. He's like, "I love you, Solo, but I cannot acknowledge you as my tribal chief."
Wow.
And in a ring full of Samoans, brave man.
And the pop in MSG, beautiful.
Pop. MSG delivers.
Yep, exactly. And hey, you know what? It's it's basically the spiritual home of WWE, if that's what you're going to call it. It's because the MSG, all the big like WrestleMania happens. The very first WrestleMania happened over there. It's the world's most famous arena. The McMahons are promoting there for generation after generation after generation, and so they'll always come through for the WWE. 20,000 strong in there. Beautiful sight to see. But Jose, you had something very interesting. Upon watching that, just before we went on the air over here, you told me something, and that was intriguing to me. Tell me again.
Money in the Bank gets Roman.
Ooh.
I think we get Roman. Money in the Bank in the last few years has, for some odd reason, been the home of massive returns.
Okay.
For some odd reason. Two of those are back-to-back John Cena's. But John Cena last year in the UK, and then John Cena the year before to take on Roman at SummerSlam. Mm-hmm. I presume that Roman eventually will be back. I know we're all waiting for it, and somehow with the development of Solo, that I think WWE's finally going to get the baby face pop they always wanted for their boy, or Vince probably rather wanted for his boy. And what better way to set up a potential SummerSlam match than to do it in a city that loves to pop big for big moments anyway, right? Mm-hmm. So I think it'd be great. My other one I was telling to my cousin of mine, or to Dave, was, what if The Rock comes in to talk to Cody? But let's not push it. So I would kind of hope to see to see Roman back. I think that would be the great spot to set up SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm. What do you think, Colin?
Well, now again, I'm going on rumor, conjecture, and especially a buddy of mine, former WCW guy who is totally into WWE now. So kudos to WWE. The hot rumor for Survivor Series is like the Samoan Civil War. Is like the Rock's team versus Roman's team. Like, is this the building blocks for that? Asking you guys who are watching regularly.
I would love to think. Honestly, I would love to believe that's the big building blocks for that.
My problem is I don't know who's your fourth for. Actually, no. Well, because I don't see The Rock involved in that. I really don't.
But like it would have to be, obviously, because who else to be to lead a team?
Well, it's
Sami
tough
Zayn.
because.
I'm kidding.
I would love that, but you know that's
honorary Uso, you know?
Canada.
That's why I said it. But
he's Uso enough to do it, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry for derailing that. But no, I guess it would be The Rock. But my issue with The Rock is because like they have the whole Cody thing that was set up after the night after WrestleMania, and the rumors that's what we're going to see in Las Vegas next April.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he gets involved in that because I mean it depends how it's set up. But and of course The Rock's availability. But legitimately, I do not know who the fourth would be because you have the Uso twins. Obviously, you're going to probably get involved in that. Roman would be there, and that fourth was throwing me off for War Games. I don't know. I presume it'd be War Games. By the way, I don't know.
It has to be War Games.
Yeah.
Nobody does traditional Survivor Series matches anymore. So
I saw online like somebody made a fan poster, and it wasn't even number of people. There were 5 people on each. So, but I don't know everybody. I'll have to try to find it, and I'll share it with you guys later. But
interesting.
Approach this again next time, maybe after Money in the Bank or something. But yeah.
But that'd be
anyway.
awesome.
That's the hot rumor I was thinking. This, and of course, you know. They could take the cues from how Marvel screwed it up and do a proper Civil War.
I will say that I think the pieces are there. They're starting to be developed if it does go that way.
Right.
If it does happen, I think that'd be phenomenal. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
that'd be fantastic. But TBD, we got a little ways to go, but it's a good time.
Either way, Money in the Bank is shipping. Yeah, other way, Money in the Bank. A lot of hot things going to be happening leading up to Money in the Bank. I'm going to be over at over at that wrestling nightclub thing on the Thursday, July the 4th.
Are you actually going?
Yeah, I'm going as Vinny Salvador's +1 over there, so I'm going to get some footage. I'll report from over there and everything.
The nightclub dance, like with WWE themes, right?
Yeah, and cosplay as well. So
there's cosplays.
Yeah, there's gonna be it's gonna apparently gonna be hot as all hell in there. But I'm still gonna try to bring my I'm gonna still try to dress up as Paul Heyman as I did back in
I was gonna say don't do what you did at my place and when you got here for my place for WrestleMania 39, just randomly pulled out a bathrobe and said, "I'm Damien Sandow." I'm like, "What are we doing here? Hey, just sit down and watch.
Yeah,
just sit down and watch WrestleMania."
Please put clothes back on.
No, you didn't go that far. You didn't go that far. Thankfully, you didn't go that far. But Lex put on his robe, his towel, and then his microphone in his hand, and be like,
"Yep,
hello."
Exactly, like a wine goblet.
And my parents walked, and my parents came home, and they're like, "What?
Who is this man?"
that was okay. I know we gotta go to break, but that was the first time Lex and Chico met my parents because I still live at home and I invited everybody over, and so my mom and dad looked at him. Why is he in a bathrobe? I'm like, don't worry.
That's the first impression you want to do, man. Lex, you are great with parents. Well done.
Hey, that's the first time Jimmy Corderas saw me. So. WWE Raw 2013 September. Anyway, matches for Money in the Bank as announced so far: Jey Uso versus Carmelo Hayes versus Andrade El Idolo versus Chad Gable versus LA Knight versus one more person to be determined for the Money in the Bank ladder match for the men's championship match contract: Io Sky versus Chelsea Green versus Lyra Valkyria, Tiffany Stratton, Naomi, plus one more competitor for the women's Money in the Bank. Damian Priest putting up his World Heavyweight Championship on the line against Seth freaking Rollins, which, wow, he's back already. And sooner than I thought he would actually come back. Sami Zayn putting up his Intercontinental Championship up against Braun Breaker. And then we've got the 6-man tag match between Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, Kevin Owens versus the Solo Sikoa-led bloodline, Solo, Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, and or Jacob Fatu. That's what it says on the card right now. But it's going to be an amazing weekend of wrestling in Toronto, and we're going to be there. So make sure you catch up with John, with Neil, who's going to be there as well for all of that. And it's going to be just an amazing time of wrestling, WWE wrestling here in Toronto, hot off the heels of WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia, which most of us went to. But we are going to go to break right now. When we come back, Colin and Jose and I will be talking about AEW Forbidden Door and their 17,000 matches. Anyway.
Less than 15, I believe.
Yeah.
I think we're good.
We'll be back after these promotional considerations. Welcome back to Ringside Heat on News Talk Sauga 960 AM, your favorite podcatcher, and on YouTube. My name is Lex Tan at Lex Tan Media at Ringside_Heat, alongside Jose at Taboada 93, Director of Digital Content, and at Risen72, Colin Dodge, who is our AEW expert. And we are going to be talking about AEW Forbidden Door, which will be starting, the main card will be starting in, less than an hour, basically, because we are on the air at 7 o'clock on Sundays at Sauga 960 AM, and by the time this reaches, I guess, the video portion of it, we'll already have gone through the entire show and everything. So we'll see what happens when it comes to the rest of the content when it comes to this week, because we will have lots of content building up to I'd like to hope that we have lots of content building up to Money in the Bank this week. But it starts all tonight here on Sauga 960, June the 30th, with AEW Forbidden Door, and there are 13 matches, less than 15, which includes the 3 matches on the pre-show. So, yep. 10 on the main card at the moment. So that's an improvement again for AEW Tony Khan.
Well, I mean, I give a little in this one because they've got 2 promotions to put over in this
True.
In the Forbidden Door, right? So they're fitting in as many people as they can. There's trios matches, there's tag matches, it's craziness. But just really to highlight a few things, it is the beginning of the Owen Hart Cup tournament. Mariah May will be facing Saraya for the women's side, and Bryan Danielson versus Shingo Takagi will be opening up the men's side of the tournament. Actually, no, that's wrong. I believe Jay White won his match this past Wednesday, so never mind. It has already started. But those are the 2 Owen Hart Cup matches that will be on the card. I mean, Bryan Danielson's always fun to watch. Again, being Forbidden Door, half of the matches, it's a lot of people I don't know yet because I really didn't watch New Japan. But I'm learning as best I can. But I know these matches are important. I just wasn't there originally to know why. But, that's okay. It's a learning process with sometimes. But as for things to watch, Timeless Tony Storm is still killing it. Thank God she's there. I still think the women's division is hurting right now in AEW. We need a lot of people back. There was, again, WWE side, all I go on is rumors is that, Natalya hasn't signed her new contract yet. What if she shows up in AEW? I would lose my mind.
Do you think?
They do have
I don't know.
Well, here's the thing. They do have that kind of that connection with the Hart family already, with the Owen Hart and Martha Hart. So
yep,
course,
I don't know how close, Natty is with Martha and that and her side of the family or anything. Yeah. But at least there is that connection there, which makes sense. So.
Yeah, and she's had like every accomplishment you could have in WWE.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, I think aside from the family connection, I think I can see the mindset of like Copeland there in a sense of like, well, I've done everything that I need to do, or I think there's nothing else for me to do, or maybe like my options have been limited, or I've reached everything. I've reached like my limit here, and I can see that maybe jumping ship would maybe be. I mean, I don't think it'd be the worst thing. But
I mean, talk about the Ultimate Career Challenge. Fix the women's division because Toni Storm needs help. I'm sorry, she does.
Fair.
I'm supporting Toni Storm. I mean, she's doing great with this new gimmick and stuff like that. It's the first time the women's division, they need Britt Baker back. They need Jamie Hayter back. They need, a shot in the arm is what they need. Let's see what else. The Learning Tree. Chris Jericho has done it again. He is now the Learning Tree. His fans are branches. I want the new shirt. It's fantastic. Big Bill, or Redwood, as he's lovingly called now. He's actually improving on the mic. He's those self-help guru guys. He's like Tony Robbins. It's working. It's great. He's hilarious to watch. And this spawned the new trio of Samoa Joe, Hook, and Shibata, which is working somehow. So, so that's going to be a trios match, I think. I don't know if that's actually been completely confirmed. And then we've got Zack Sabre Jr. versus Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy is in the middle of a very sad, depressing storyline right now. He has no friends left.
Oh,
everybody has left him.
Right.
Statlander turned on him. The best friends, one retired, the other one turned on him, joined the Callis family. And it's all very sad times for Orange Cassidy. So, so that's happening. John Moxley's on the card, so that's going to be a brutal match as he defends his IWGP Championship. Mercedes Moné is in a title versus Stephanie Vacker. She is the women's NJPW strong women's champion. So that's title versus title there. I honestly don't know how that will go. I guess Mercedes is probably getting both titles, but
I don't think they.
Stephanie just won that belt, so I kind of feel bad for Stephanie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the Elite's doing stuff. Who cares? I don't like the Elite. That doesn't matter.
I will say that Okada moment in shutting off the mics for help me, for Max Caster.
Oh yes.
That was hilarious to see Okada.
That's been cute. Yeah.
It's funny because like a lot of fans were like, "Oh, look what he's doing in AEW when he couldn't be doing that in WWE," but that's kind of the guy that he is. So it's not the end of the world. Basically, I don't think that's the hill to die on when it comes to the tribalism war in wrestling.
Right.
It's not a pillar to go for that war. No. There's other pillars.
Look at this. Speaking of pillars, there is an AEW TNT Championship ladder match, which that championship is vacant, and former pillar of the company, Jack Perry, is in that match. I assume he will be winning because he's a new elite. But Takeshita's in that match, as well as Mark Briscoe, Dante Martin, Leo Rush, and El Phantasmo from was CML. So that it's a ladder match. There's a lot of I think that's going to be exciting. Again, I assume Jack Perry's going to win that. And then honestly, I think the best thing that's going to happen is going to be Swerve Strickland defending against Will Ospreay. This is not title versus title, but it is for the AEW World Championship. And I can't call this one. It's interesting. I don't think they should take the belt off Swerve that soon, but Will Ospreay is the latest, newest acquisition too. So, it's an interesting storyline. Sorry, go ahead.
So yeah, sorry. No, it's funny because I mean, it was a couple of weeks ago we were here on AEW here on Ringside Heat. Oh my goodness. We're here on Ringside. We were talking about how I think it was you who was worried about the presentation of Swerve Strickland, how they're not really presenting him as a champion. Yeah. So here we are now all these weeks later, and now you're kind of in the position in the path where you could kind of like say, okay, well, you know what, maybe there's somebody else we can want to present as a champion better, but do you pull that trigger on another short? And this is always the issue. How long do you want Reigns to go? Right.
Well, I'd say it's better now, him as champion. So I think they've corrected and have fixed that. Even with MJF is back, MJF has not mentioned really the world title too much and going near it, except for this past Wednesday. But and I think because Will Ospreay is beloved, Swerve is correctly taking a more heelish approach to this. Especially if you watch Dynamite this week, he just blindsided Will Ospreay in an attack before leaving. That was kind of at least the Dynamite go home for those two in their main event, because they were tagging in the main event against Gates of Agony. So so Swerve is taking the heel role, so I think he's doing better that way, but he's shifted people. People are like, oh, is he face now? But now he's gone heel because it's Will Ospreay, so he's still kind of going back and forth. So I don't think they've nailed it just yet, but it's been better. But I don't know. I think Will survives the loss. Like, he's not losing his title.
Yeah,
I think he can survive the loss better than Swerve can. So.
Yeah, that was my concern, actually, is that because Will Ospreay is such a big, I guess, such a bigger name in the worldwide wrestling community, other than or versus Swerve Strickland, and that was my concern, is that Swerve he could get buried if he's if he loses to Will Ospreay. I mean, like, if they put on a great match between the two, then one will get over, one's going to get over, what the adage was. One gets over, one goes. Yeah, sorry. But either way, I think it has to be, unfortunately, Swerve has to be the one to win the match, because Will Ospreay can survive that. I don't think Swerve strictly can survive a loss to Will Ospreay, though.
Not this soon. Yeah.
I'm picking Swerve just for the sake of not having such a short reign and immediately just strapping on the Rocket, just for the sake of just going with the popularity. I think Swerve's got to get that chance to kind of establish itself as a dominant champion, because Will Ospreay is such a strong presence anywhere he goes, that I think you immediately kind of like put bury Swerve, and that's not fair to Swerve. And again, there are people who are already so critical about him. Again, like Colin kind of addressing his concerns a couple of weeks ago. So I would give it to Swerve. Just like I don't want to just keep strapping on titles just because it's the person's more popular and quote unquote better, right? You have to develop everybody else. You have to you have to help form superstars, right? And so I think Swerve, not that Swerve isn't, but let's keep escalating Swerve, right? So that's what I'm hoping for.
And I think there's an argument to be made that Ospreay has to earn his AEW stripes. Like, he's got his worldwide stripes for sure, but you're now full time in an AEW promotion. So don't just walk. I mean, yeah, he walked in and got a title, but not the main title. Yeah, all right, okay. I'm undercutting my own point by just what happened recently.
No, but that's a good point, though. That's the thing. You're right. He did walk into AEW and get a title. However, but that's also not the AEW World Championship, right, which is their most prestigious prize. So, you're right. It'll take a little bit more than just going in and beating Swerve Strickland within the first few months of your AEW tenure to be able to qualify as an AEW champion, a credible AEW World Champion. Not that he wouldn't be credible as it is. It's just there are you gotta pay your dues. The old adage of the business. You gotta pay your dues, and Ospreay still has dues to pay within this particular organization.
Yeah, and the storyline approach is I think is a clue as well, because Swerve's taking the position that Ospreay can't handle being champion of both belts. Like, he can't handle the stress of being a two belt champion, and then being full time in AEW now. It's different from traveling place to place to place. So I think that's an interesting point, because Ospreay has already agreed to defend either one or both on Dynamite next week against Daniel Garcia. So he's already making matches when he's not even sure if he's the champion yet. But he's like, yeah, I'll give you both belts. I'll put them both up. So Daniel Garcia could be a double champion next week on Dynamite.
I also don't want, I think it's weird because you're already going to have a guaranteed double champion, right? With potentially Mercedes. I presume it's Mercedes. And I don't think you want to do that for the men as well. I think you want to focus on one double champion to kind of put emphasis on it and not have like multiple double champions and kind of like maybe potentially saturate it or maybe like kind of like make it like devalued. I think devalue was the better word to use. So I don't know how I feel about two double champions if it's not done right. Not that I don't think AEW can pull it off, but I don't want that to suddenly be a trope in AEW. If that makes sense.
So, well, I think it makes sense too that it means Ospreay's not going to win, because I don't think they should have. Yeah, I mean, you've got enough. You've got people with trios belts, then you got the people walking around with 9 belts and stuff.
Exactly.
It's not a video game. You do that in a video game.
Yeah, exactly. Right, and there's balances to it.
I did it in WWE 2K once. I haven't done it yet in Fight Forever, but I'll get there.
Ringside Heat on Newstalk Sauga 960 AM, your favorite podcatcher, and on YouTube. We're out of time on the radio side of it all. So before we go, any final words from you, Jose and Colin?
It's gonna be a fun week leading up. It's always nice when WWE comes to town. But it should be a very, very fun few. It should be a very fun week. I still don't have a ticket to Money in the Bank, but my cousin and I have been discussing to probably get one the day of to see if we can try to like minimize our costs because tickets are kind of pricey in Toronto. So we're ready to go. We're excited and I can't wait to see what's going on. But more importantly, if you are listening on a radio and not on YouTube, hey, head over to YouTube. Colin's live in about 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes. So
we got Forbidden Door in minutes, Money in the Bank next week. Again, it continues to be a fantastic year to be a wrestling fan. So
far so good. So far so good as we hit the midway point in 2024.
Yeah.
And we want to thank you all for listening on the radio, on podcast form, and on YouTube as well. And thank you for following us on this journey through the last 3 years of wrestling and with AEW, with Impact Wrestling, TNA Wrestling, and with WWE, and everywhere else that we're going to be going to and you're going to be seeing us at. And we ask you to like, share, and subscribe. If you like what we do, buy us a coffee. Make sure you're listening to us on Sauga 960 AM. On Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts. Thank you so much for being with us here for this hour of Wrestling Talk. That's Jose to my right at Taboada 93, Director of Digital Content, at Risen 72, Colin Dodge, our AEW expert, and myself, Lex Tan Media at Lex Tan Media. I'm the host and producer of the show. Follow at Ringside_Heat and interact with us on all of your social media. This is Ringside Heat, and we remember the things that you probably forgot.